Knox Museum is giving audiences a special performance for the piece of musical history. Grace Bradley tells us what we can expect.
You know, even if they're used to hearing classical era music or the music of Mozart, Haydn, and Beethoven, I mean, these guys certainly aren't really ignored, but to hear it from this fresh perspective, it's as if you were hearing it new.
Vienna, Austria-based musician Daniel Adam Maltz is stopping at the Camden Opera House Friday during his concert tour of over 50 cities.
Fortepiano is a term that means old piano. Viennese fortepianos are the instruments for which Mozart and Beethoven both played on and composed for. They are made almost entirely of wood. They don't have the cast iron frame that sits in modern pianos today.
For Maltz, it is imperative to play the fortepiano in settings that resemble where they were originally intended.
This music was intended as house music, as small, intimate gatherings, and it was played in these types of homes. It was played in smaller to medium-sized concert halls like the Camden Opera House. The ability to experience this music in a place like the Camden Opera House gets very close to the experience that was intended from these composers in the 18th century in Vienna.
Knox Museum has organized the event, as Henry Knox held a special connection to the fortepiano.
Henry Knox, I like to say, is one of our forgotten founding fathers. It actually belonged to Henry and Lucy Knox. Their daughter played it. They would take it out on the porch when they would have their big parties. And Lucy played on the fortepiano that we have here.
And I guarantee you that Henry Knox's daughter was playing Mozart on that porch.
Yes, she was.
Grace Bradley, WAVI TV5 News.